Okay, so welcome to the deep dive. You ready to jump into something pretty fascinating?
I am indeed always excited to explore new territory.
Yeah, well, today we are going to be diving deep into the future of esports and gaming as a whole. And we've got a really interesting collection of sources for this one.
Sources that really paint a picture of a future that's rapidly evolving.
Yeah,
Ah,
definitely. Forget just playing games by yourself. We're talking about gaming becoming a major, major player, like in the world of entertainment.
absolutely. And what's really fascinating is that collectively, these sources point to a future where digital entertainment, especially the competitive side, it's not just growing, it's actually reshaping how we connect with each other, how we consume media. It's quite remarkable to see this transformation taking place.
Yeah, for sure. And our goal today in this deep dive, we're going to try to pull out the most important ideas from all of this information. We don't want to just overwhelm you with a bunch of data, right? We want to make sure you walk away understanding like the big trends that are going to shape this whole landscape.
Exactly. It's about clarity and insight.
Yes, exactly. So think of this as like, I don't know, your crash course in everything that's happening in this super dynamic area. Like we're going to cover everything from how popular esports is getting to new technologies like VR and AR. We'll even touch on the impact of AI, artificial intelligence, as well as the economic side of things, how gaming experiences are evolving. Oh, and how gaming is even influencing our culture.
It's quite a broad spectrum.
It is a lot. Okay, so first off, like one of the most obvious things is just how absolutely massive esports has become. Like even in the last 10 years or so, the growth has been crazy.
It has been absolutely remarkable. The materials we're looking at, they really underscore this exponential growth,
Hmm.
going from these relatively small, often very localized events to these huge international competitions with audiences that, frankly, would have been unimaginable just a few years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the sources even talk about future esports arenas that could hold millions of spectators. Millions.
The scale is truly staggering, and the global streaming audiences are growing at an incredible pace as well.
It's not just limited to a handful of places anymore, is it?
No, not at all. It's becoming a genuine global phenomenon.
Hmm.
These tournaments are turning into significant cultural events in more and more countries all over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the esports analysts we read, they pointed out something really interesting. They're talking about all the investment that's going into infrastructure, to support all this growth.
Right. And the fact that we're seeing well-established professional leagues emerging alongside this,
Mhm.
plus top players actually gaining real global celebrity, all of that points towards a maturing and expanding esports ecosystem.
Yeah, okay. So now this is where things start to get really, really interesting, for me at least. The role of technology. We're not just talking about better graphics anymore, right? VR and AR are coming up over and over in the materials as like game changers.
They really are transformative technologies. And these sources paint such a vivid picture of enhanced immersion. Like imagine not just watching a match on your screen, but being able to actually step into the game world itself.
Right, actually being there.
Exactly. That fundamentally changes how everyone experiences the competition, both the players and the viewers. VR, of course, provides this complete sensory immersion, whereas AR, augmented reality, overlays digital elements onto our real-world view. Both have the potential to revolutionize how we engage with esports.
Oh, and speaking of VR, the stuff about VR being used for esports training is crazy. Like what that one game developer was talking about, creating these immersive esports gyms, that could really change how players practice and analyze their strategies.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Think about it. These virtual environments, they could accelerate skill development and allow players to refine their techniques in ways that just wouldn't be possible in the real world. And it really raises a question about, will we see a generation of esports athletes who have been trained entirely or almost entirely in these high-fidelity virtual spaces?
Yeah. Okay, so now let's talk about something that feels like straight out of a science fiction film. AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Like this is rapidly becoming a huge part of the esports world.
It's incredible how quickly AI is shifting from being just something inside the games to being a really active and vital part of coaching, like how teams are coached and how players play at the highest level.
Right, and like the sources go into detail about these really complex AI tools that teams are using. Tools that can go through mountains of match data, find little weaknesses in their opponent's strategies, even make predictions about what might happen in the game.
Almost like having a super intelligent, data-driven strategist constantly working with the team.
Exactly. And one of the esports coaches we read, they made a really important point. They said that AI isn't just about winning, it's actually about understanding the game itself on a deeper level, because you're using all this data to analyze it.
It allows for these highly tailored training programs that are customized to each player's needs.
Yeah.
And even during a match, you can make incredibly precise strategic adjustments in real time because of the data the AI is providing.
Yeah, that's wild. But it gets even wilder. Like, we're starting to see this idea of AI-driven teams, actual AI teams, competing against human players. I mean, that opens up a whole new chapter in esports, right?
Absolutely. And, when we zoom out a bit,
Hmm.
it suggests that the very definition of competition in esports could evolve. Humans might have to adapt to completely new strategies, totally different ways of playing that were developed by AI, and that could lead to some really unpredictable and exciting hybrid competitions.
Okay, so it's pretty clear that all of this points towards a massive and rapidly growing industry. So let's talk about the economics of esports and gaming, because this is a serious business now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the sources we've looked at, they really highlight this multi-billion-dollar ecosystem that's grown up around esports. It's driven by huge sponsorships, lucrative media rights deals, a really active merchandise market, and then you've got the whole world of streaming platforms that connect players and fans all over the globe.
Yeah, and one of the esports team managers we read, they said something that really stuck with me. They were talking about how major brands are increasingly investing in esports.
Right, because they recognize the incredible value of reaching a young, tech-savvy, and highly engaged audience. The esports community is a prime target for a lot of businesses.
And what I find really interesting is that, like, we could see even more integration with other big industries like fashion, music, even traditional entertainment. Like, that could open up all kinds of new ways to make money and create some really cool collaborations that, we haven't even thought of yet.
The potential for synergy across these sectors is immense.
Okay, so it's not just the business side that's changing. The way we actually experience games, the way we play them, that's changing too.
For sure. I mean, the trend is clearly towards these more dynamic, interactive, and importantly, social experiences. The lines between our real world, physical reality, and these immersive virtual worlds, they're definitely blurring.
The sources talk a lot about players seamlessly moving between different platforms, like going from a console to VR, even into AR spaces.
That level of cross-platform integration, it's really exciting because it points towards this truly connected gaming experience.
Yeah, and remember that futuristic multiplayer battle royale game that was mentioned? The one that's supposed to be fully cross-platform and even work with those haptic feedback suits.
Oh, right, where you can actually feel sensations from the game,
Yeah.
like the impact of getting hit or the texture of something. You could really sense the gamer's excitement for this kind of evolution in gaming. It's like moving beyond just seeing and hearing the game world.
Yeah, that's crazy. So all of this evolution, it's not happening in a vacuum, right?
Mhm.
Gaming is definitely having a bigger and bigger impact on like our culture in general, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. These materials emphasize how gaming has become a true universal language,
Hmm.
something that connects people across continents and across cultures. It's a really powerful tool for building communities.
The communities that have grown up around esports, they're a perfect example. It's not just about passively watching. Players and fans, they're actively participating, sharing their passion, building these real connections with people all over the world who share their interests.
Yeah, and it's really inspiring to see the rise of these community-led esports charity events. That esports streamer we read about, they were talking about using their platform to raise money and awareness for important causes.
Hmm.
It really shows how the gaming community can leverage its influence to make a real difference.
It's amazing. And that brings us to like the future of gaming culture itself. It feels like the line between esports and mainstream entertainment is like almost disappearing.
Yeah, that's definitely the trajectory we're seeing. Advancements in things like 5G technology, which are going to give us faster and more reliable internet connections, and the development of these increasingly immersive technologies, they're going to make esports feel so real, so immediate. Like it'll be almost indistinguishable from being at a live sporting event.
Yeah, I can see that. Imagine like fans at home watching a match. They're sitting in these haptic chairs that vibrate and move with the action in the game. They're wearing VR headsets that put them right there in the arena. And maybe they've got giant AR screens that show their favorite teams battling it out, all around them.
It's a powerful vision of the future.
It is. So, taking everything we've talked about today, how would you sum up the main takeaway about the future of esports and gaming based on what we've read?
I'd say the biggest takeaway is this idea of growing connectivity, constantly evolving entertainment, and this shared passion for these digital worlds that we're creating. It's an industry with huge potential to, not just entertain us, but to shape our culture, to redefine how we live our lives, how we play, how we connect with each other.
Totally agree. And on that note, here's a final thought for you, our listener, to ponder. Think about how this blending of the digital and physical worlds, which is happening more and more through gaming, think about how that might change our everyday interactions, how we communicate, even how we think about entertainment. It's really quite fascinating and it's changing so fast. So thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
Me too.